This is the show talking about WMUN, the talk of Muncie. Here's your host, Director of News Operations and lead morning anchor, Steve Lindell.
Let's get after it again. A brand new work and school week. We're looking at the weather. No delays, and we have someone in the room to tell you that's a fact. We're walking our weather as well. Music disappeared on me there, Aiden. That freaked me out. Bottom of hour, the local news summary will play, and we have a ton to rediscover from our great weekend that included Walk a Mile in My Shoes. I'm Steve Lindell. Now on to the weather. We have WMUN meteorologist Paul Poteet for that.
Good morning. If you can hang on through today, there will be some improvement tomorrow, but lots of clouds for you on Monday. Still some snow showers flying around, especially once you get west of Anderson and Muncie. That's enhanced from Lake Michigan this morning. Temps are in the 20s this morning. I don't think we'll get out of them. 29 for the high today, and chills into the teens. Some clearing tonight, low of 19. And we're going up to 39 tomorrow. Partly sunny for Tuesday. Wind chills will finally get out of the teens by afternoon. Wednesday, up to 41 degrees, some sunshine, and maybe a few showers of rain or snow Wednesday night into Thursday morning. That doesn't look like a big deal. Back down to the upper 30s for a high on Thursday, and then we're up around 50 for Friday and Saturday and around 40 on Sunday. Next week, high temps will be in the 40s or 50s all through the week. There's your WMUN Muncie weather. Back to you, Steve.
All right, thank you very much, Paul Poteet, meteorologist, as we zoom in now in our video Studio B for Wolf Boom Radio and WMUN. You are now looking up close and personal. And he's looking at it, too, his own picture, because we're in the video studio with today's Delaware County Today. Dr. Greg Hinshaw, Yorktown Community Schools. Always a pleasure. How are you this fine Monday?
Doing great on a Monday morning.
It's always good to start without a delay, too.
It is, especially this time of the year.
Yeah. It is a little slippery in spots, so be aware of that. There was some refreezing overnight, but no schools in Indiana did any delays whatsoever. All right, let's jump into a whole big, long list of topics. Yeah. I understand that perhaps a ribbon cutting will be impending soon. There's a lot of things to look at there.
Yes, we finished up our construction project at Yorktown High School, which, of course, involved the thing that people would notice most is construction of our new Sports Performance Center, which includes 2 gym floors and a new 8,000 square foot weight room. And all those spaces are in use. And so at some point, we're going to put together a ribbon cutting and invite members of the public to come in and take a closer look at all that space.
All right, make sure that I know so I can come too. We can cover it for our news department. Maybe I could get a tour of that place. I will not be strength or conditioning, though. I got to be honest with you.
We would have the facilities available if we can convince you to undergo the training, maybe.
I think I'll just take a look-see. You mentioned off-air enrollment count day happened, the second of the 2. Yeah. How did Yorktown do in that one?
Of course, for several years, the state has done 2 enrollment counts, one in the fall, one in the spring. The spring count for most districts tends to be lower as you have high school students who graduate early and find other things to do. But our enrollment was basically flat from fall to spring, which we take as a win. I think the totals were down like 6, and we had 9 early graduates at the semester. So our K-11 enrollment was actually up at Yorktown during the school year. So that's something that we track very closely, because not only is programming tied to that, but funding is tied to that as well.
Yorktown Community Schools, you're seeing on the video screen right now the flash audio that flies across their website that just shows some of the video sort of depictions, though the in-person is even better there, especially now with all these upgrades and updates. Let's talk about the recent news from a sporting standpoint. Our Kurt Darling, sports director, reported shortly after the announcement was made the HHC has 2 more schools coming in.
Correct. So Yorktown has been a member of the Hoosier Heritage Conference since 1999, and I have a little bit of recollection of that process. I was a teacher at Westdell, and Yorktown and Westdell actually were in the same conference, the White River Conference at that time, and Yorktown ended up moving over to the HHC just after Delta did that, and so both of those schools have been members of the HHC for over a quarter of a century. And there's been some transition over the years, but the biggest transitions recently, Shelbyville, Delta, and Newcastle have announced their departures. And Yorktown, for most of that history, was the smallest high school in the HHC. But over time, we've actually passed a couple of those other schools. And so I think we're now back at the bottom of the size chart. But we were looking for 3 additional schools to backfill those 3 spots. And so through that process, Lebanon High School was voted in first, and then together Garin Catholic and Brebeuf Jesuit were voted in just recently. And so we'll be back to an 8-school conference.
Geographically, where is Garin Catholic and the other, on the map?
Yeah, Garin is I believe it's in Hamilton County on the north side of Indy, and Brebeuf is in Marion County. Of course, Lebanon is north of Indy in Boone County.
All right, very good. Dr. Hinshaw is here this morning on WMUN's Delaware County Today. For those that have driven past the school complex any number of times, one of the places that you see between the buildings are the JAA fields. Right. You're telling me that some updates are happening there?
It's an interesting process because if you think back to driving on Tiger Drive from the stoplight at State Road 32 up to River Road, if you did that 10 years ago versus doing it today, the town of Yorktown and the county have replaced the bridge over White River, improved it significantly. Our middle school was renovated about 5 years ago to the tune of about $22 million. Our high school has had a large addition. Pleasant View was renovated back in 2018. And the one thing that's been kind of an unsolvable problem has been these 4 ball diamonds that are there right along the road. They were a JAA park. Once upon a time, one of them was used for varsity softball. And most recently, they've been used for middle school baseball and softball practice fields. And just last fall, we made the decision to go ahead and demo the dugouts. And so hopefully here within the next couple of weeks, you'll see movement as we replace all the fencing, build new chain link dugouts, and bring those fields up to basically good practice condition for middle school. And it'll also be an aesthetic improvement along the street there.
He is Dr. Greg Hinshaw from the Yorktown Community Schools, someone that Tom Simpson speaks very highly of, by the way. I saw
Likewise,
Tommy at the Walk-A-Mile over the weekend. He was the MC. He never walks in the Walk-A-Mile, now that I think of it.
You'll have to talk to him about that. I don't speak for him on that topic.
One of the most exciting things that Dr. Hinshaw loves to talk about is the roof project. Can you confirm or deny, Dr. Hinshaw?
Well, maybe I had the good fortune to do a bunch of roof projects early in my superintendent career in a different district. And so I became very familiar with roofing. And believe it or not, it can be a potentially traumatic, emotional experience for people when roofs are in failure. There's a real sense of neglect that the public has toward school administration and school boards if you allow buildings to get into those conditions. In Yorktown, fortunately, roofs have been very well maintained. Some of them are out of warranty, but none of them are actively in catastrophic failure or anything like that. But we're doing a preventative replacement on our high school roof, which is about 30 years old. I think it's more than 30 years old, several years out of warranty. And it's not a glamorous project. I don't think roofs ever are, but it's certainly necessary. And it's kind of one of the last things that we're going to do here that's high dollar at Yorktown High School.
It's always better to do those before the catastrophic level. Let's go to the educational part. We're into the testing part of our school year. What's next for all the schools, including Yorktown?
Yeah, if you have a student in an Indiana school, if they're second graders or third graders, they're getting ready to take iRead. Used to be iRead 3. Now, of course, it's given to every second grader, and it's only given to third graders who didn't pass it as second graders. And so everybody in the K3 setting is prepping for that. And then, of course, if you're in grades 3 through 8, you're prepping for iLearn. And we've had yet another iteration, a change in how we do that. So we use iLearn checkpoints now, and we will still have a summative iLearn late in the school year, but this is the first year. 2026 is the first year for that new iLearn test. I try to not think about how many changes and reiterations of the assessment processes
drive you crazy.
Yes, it's been a bunch in my career.
Let's go for hoops, specifically the boys that have been making some noise, and I imagine Tigers are proud of them and more.
It's been a fun boys basketball season to watch, and I try to get to every home game. And as I look, I think we've won 7 in a row.
Wow.
For our boys, and we're something like 13-7, and of course just had the sectional draw yesterday. Mm-hmm. And so we'll look forward to seeing how we come out of that process.
Carried that sectional draw here on WMUN, News Talk, Sports Talk, Community Talk. They're going to break down the bracketology. Kurt Darling already has, by the way. There's a great visual depiction on our social media page from last night. Thousands of hits on that, too, because everybody wants to see where all the schools are going to start and or hopefully end up for the state high school basketball tournament. And this afternoon, 4 o'clock on the Power Hour, Mark Forster will break down those brackets even further. Let's go to one of your other favorite topics, if you don't mind. The state legislature, always, or rather never a dull moment, or is there? Is there much to worry about with respect to Yorktown Community Schools as it comes from the State House?
And, of course, this is a short session. It's not a budget session, and I think we were told up front that there wouldn't be much relating to education, and I forget how many bills were filed that had an educational impact. It was very much way over double digits. And so the state associations that deal with education have watched all this closely. I don't see anything that's still alive, although I think we're in the final week here. I don't see anything that's still alive that's extremely concerning to me. If I were in IPS or had an interest in charters and things like that, there would be some things I might be following more closely, but I don't see anything that's tremendously impactful to Yorktown in the short term.
All right, very good. This is Dr. Greg Hinshaw, WMUN's Delaware County Today. He leads the Yorktown Community Schools. Anything we haven't touched on that you want to add in before we wrap up?
I think we've covered it.
All right, very good. Always a pleasure. Thanks very much for your time and service, and have a great rest of your Monday.
Same to you.
All right, as we continue with more Delaware County Today in a moment, we're going to hear about Walk a Mile in our next segment. Stand by. That's coming up on WMUN.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Mike.
This month, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Ben Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G coverage. What? Franklin wasn't even a president. Hang on to those Benjamins. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, to switch to an American wireless company that's truly unprecedented.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PIPE to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PIPE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PIPE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Start your day with Quaker Protein Instant Oatmeal. The instant oatmeal ready to help you tackle whatever your day brings. Like wrangling your toddler into their car seat. That was fun. coaching your 6th graders soccer team. Go girls! And carrying all the groceries in one trip. Whew. Try Quaker Protein Instant Oatmeal, Granola, and Bars. Great taste and a good source of protein. Quaker, bring out the good.
Want to hear more? Replays uploaded daily on WMUNmuncie.com. Now back to Delaware County Today with Steve Lindell, presented by Muncie Community Schools.
Thank you, Tom Campbell, voice of WMUN. Over the weekend, one of the many things that I had the good fortune of doing was with my beautiful wife, Nancy, attending the annual Walk a Mile in My Shoes event, Muncie Mission Ministries benefit. I spoke to countless great people all over that floor of the North Walnut Street Fieldhouse and at the ultimate conclusion on Liberty Street. Lots of video and interviews on my Steve Lindell Facebook page and also the WLBC Facebook page. They're not pinned posts, so you have to scroll around for it. But some first-hand audio. This has never been heard before. Right now, here on Delaware County Today, you'll hear about 7 guests of mine, including Ball State football, a very large offensive lineman, Tristan Cook. All right, so I'm told that you are a protector. You're the guy on the O-line that makes sure nobody gets at our quarterback. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you good at it?
I am very blessed with abilities from God to do the things I can do. It's a beautiful thing. Yes, sir.
I am 6 foot 2 inches. I am not a tiny individual. You are a large human being. We're glad that you're on the Cardinal squad. What do you think of Coach you and all the guys that are leading you? The football season isn't that far away at this point.
Oh, man, it's awesome. And I think the beautiful thing about football season is year-round, right? They say it's in the fall, but we're working hard now. This is where you win championships, and then Coach you and all the coaches have that mindset of understanding we're going to work hard. We're in there running every day, doing everything we can, and I think it's a beautiful thing, especially the O-line, man. We're a family. We're a unit. Not one of us is any disrespect towards any other. We all love each other, and that's spreading through the team, and it's throughout the team that love is spread there, and it's a wonderful thing, man.
I've been at this event, Muncie Mission Ministries Walk a Mile, for a whole lot of decades. You chose to be here today, and your team and your university asked for you to volunteer to be out here. What do you think that does for you and your heart to help people with something like this?
I think it's wonderful, and I think it encourages me to understand that there's got to be more done for sure for people that are, don't have as much and that need more. I think it's a beautiful thing, right? God's greatest commandment, love one another, right? Or love God, then we'll love one another. And I think it's such a beautiful thing to understand that that's what is happening here. And that's what it takes in the world, to be a team, to work together, to help others, to love others, do what Jesus did for us on the cross, and try to live that the best we can.
Absolutely, well put. Very nice to meet you. Go Cards.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
He's everywhere. He's everywhere. Mr. Baldwin, you're here at the finish now. This is a great day for you and so many people every year.
It is, Steve, and we're up here at the Mission, which is we're calling it the home stretch this year, sponsored by Victory Honda, and we're expecting any minute the fire truck and several thousand walkers to be rounding the corner. But, this day is a day of our community coming together and telling and showing those that are struggling, living on the margins, that we see you, we care for you, we're here for you. And down at the Muncie Fieldhouse, it was an absolute declaration. A lot of people.
As we stand here at the home stretch and, of course, the Muncie Mission Ministries main location, across the street, one of your newest innovations that has been coming together in recent years is really taking shape, too.
This is really why we walk, because those homes are full of individuals who were homeless at one time. And now they have worked through their challenges, their whatever those may have been, and now they're thriving, they're employed, they're giving back to the community, they're having barbecues. It's a wonderful community.
One of my favorite guests, always. I don't want to sit on that banana there. That'd be bad news, wouldn't it? I had her on the radio at least once, and she became famous after that. That was at Westminster Village, I think, that day, was it not?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Tell everybody your name.
My name is Pam Ivy.
Pam loves being Pam Ivy. And Pam loves being at Walk a Mile, don't you, Pam?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Is Rich there filming because he wants you to be even more famous, even though he can't hear a word we're saying about him right now?
Yes, he do.
It's great to see you.
Thank you.
She has the best laugh. With Jay Garrison, the former retired voice of Ball State women's basketball on the radio, this is just a thought that popped into my head a moment ago. You're going to be able to walk in Walk a Mile this year.
I have a bad foot.
Oh, dang it. Otherwise, you'd be... No, you're here because you want to support. You appreciate the Muncie Mission Ministries. Put it in your words.
Well, so the funny thing is, earlier this week, it was like, 55, 60, 65 degrees? Yeah. We don't want that today.
No.
Because if we get it today, it's not the right perspective for what these people are going through. So it needs to be about 25, 30, 35 degrees, which is what it's going to be today. And the crowd's still showing out. So it's about where it needs to be.
We have had some horrific weather days for this event through the years, too. But yeah, that's what it's all about. Are you going to be able to get over to the Liberty Street location and get a Chick-fil-A sandwich later?
I'll let everybody else enjoy the sandwiches because, I've got a few extra in me that I don't need anymore.
Oh, I see. Well, this is radio, so you can have to draw your own pictures, everybody. Thank Jay Garrison right there from Wolf Boom Radio Group. I'm Steve Lindell. How are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
What's your name?
Christian Gonzalez.
This is the mayor of Muncie right here, and I need to talk to him. Do you mind if I just step over here for a second? No, you're fine. I'll be right back with you. Mr. Mayor, how are you?
I am wonderful.
When you're in the middle of great Munsonians and more like this, it's got to make your heart full.
It really does. The community is so giving, and that's one of the reasons I love Muncie, Indiana.
You're walking around the room here doing a lot of handshaking, posing for photos. Are you running for re-election even though it's not your cycle here? What's the deal?
This is definitely not my cycle. I'm just thanking people for being here. We've got Ball State athletes here. We've got churches here. We've got Muncie students here. It's just a great thing, and we're very excited about what's going on.
Always love seeing the contingent of Muncie's finest. I'm talking about the police and the fire. They're over here. They'll lead the way. They'll block the streets, and they're doing their great work too. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
It's my pleasure. I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you, Steve.
Steve Lindell, WLBC, WMUN Radio. It's not often that I am asked to interview someone. That's what you just did. Please tell us who you are and why you're here today.
My name is Amaya Stademeyer. I go to Muncie Central, and I am with the NHS group.
What's NHS? I'm not good at acronyms.
It's National Honor Society.
Well, of course it is. That was a test. Your name sounds familiar. Are you an award winner? Have you won something? I want to say that I said your name on the radio for some sort of a news story. Does that seem at all possible?
I've won many Martin Luther King Jr. awards. I've won the one recently at Ball State and the one at my school.
All right, very good. Chris Walker, the principal at Muncie Central, has probably told me all about you through the years. I've been here for a long time, so there's that. Who's with you here?
This right here is Levi Roberts. He's my boyfriend of 3 years.
Levi, are you also in the NHS?
I am not.
Is that required?
No, it's not required.
Very nice to meet you. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
Yeah. That was funny. She literally walked up to me, and she very smiley, just like she sounds on the radio, Amaya Stademeyer, as she introduced herself. And she said, hey, would you like to interview me? Because she saw me walking around the room talking to everybody. I have reached out to Principal Chris Walker over the weekend, and he confirmed that she is one of those standout Bearcats. And yes, indeed, she was one that was mentioned in a news story not that long ago and during one of our interviews as well. Here on Delaware County Today, Steve Lindell Live, 92.5 FM, 1340 AM, and all the rest. We have a big, expanded local news summary coming up in our next segment. Stand by. Delaware County Today continues on WMUN.
I'm J.D. Kraft, principal here at Southside Middle School. Southside has a rich tradition of excellence both in the classroom and in athletics. We are a school of overcomers. We believe education is a lifelong process, which is why our motto is be relentless in your pursuit of education. Not only do we do a great job of educating students in the core subjects, but we have a number of other programs that allow students additional growth opportunities. If you have any other questions, you can always reach out to anyone in our office. Go Panthers.
Muncie Community Schools, placing learners first.
WMUN is your home for BSU men's and women's basketball, presented by Pridemark Construction on the Gamebridge Sports Network.
Hey Cardinals fans, it's Voice of the Cardinals, Mick Tidrow. All Mid-American Conference games are right here for both men's and women's basketball on WMUN. Chirp, chirp, and go Cardinals.
Listen to the action all season long on 92.5 FM, 1340 AM, and on Alexa, say play WMUN.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Stugatz here. Israel's a hot topic right now, and with so many opinions and emotions surrounding it, it could feel hard to know where to start. The Bible tells us, I will bless those who bless you. That isn't just a comforting promise, it's a clear calling from God. And today, with anti-Semitism rising around the world, that calling is more urgent than ever. When Christians choose to bless Israel, we are not entering a political issue. We are honoring the root of our faith and standing against hatred. Supporting Israel is more than a belief, it's a biblical mandate. And by partnering with the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, you can push back against darkness and be a light to God's people. Learn how you can bless Israel and be blessed in return. Visit ifcj.org today. Again, that's ifcj.org. Be the blessing, live the word, answer the call.
Want to hear more? Replays uploaded daily on WMUNmuncie.com. Now back to Delaware County Today with Steve Lindell, presented by Muncie Community Schools.
Coming up later in the hour, there are two certain things in life. One of them is tax time, and we will start a series of tax tips on Delaware County Today later this hour. Now, though, it's our local news summary. These stories and more airing on all of our stations in East Central Indiana, and a newly expanded newscast on this morning's program as we are live from Studio B on the campus of Wolf Boom Radio. The news now on WMUN. $193,000 in one morning raised at Muncie Mission's Walk-A-Mile this past Saturday. Lee Edwards says the final donations coming in, they'll likely surpass $200,000, a new record. One public official weighs in on what the Fairness Act actually means.
As the Indiana State House moves towards a final decision on the Fairness Act, author Liz Brown says the goal is simple, making sure current laws aren't ignored. The bill requires local authorities to cooperate with federal immigration detainers, a move Brown argues is about consistency across the state.
At the end of the day, what Senate Bill 76 was about is just cooperation and enforcing the laws that we have on the books. That's it. It's actually pretty simple.
Brown says that providing specific training through the Department of Corrections will ensure that local sheriffs can assist federal partners to the letter of the law. Johnette Cruz, Network Indiana.
There were no injuries or fatalities and no impact to patient health care. The Marion VA Medical Center campus had a fire Saturday morning, 6:30 a.m. It's now under investigation. Delaware County Sheriff Tony Skinner told WMUN's Delaware County Today that property crimes are on the rise, and he has suggestions on how to protect yourself.
Take the universal precautions when it comes to protecting your stuff. Lock your house, lock your cars. Don't leave valuables visible. Just do the common sense stuff and take care of your family.
With its new Elevate Madison initiative, the Madison County Commissioners will donate $1 million over the next 3 years.
Economic stability, neighborhood and built environment, and education access and quality. Those are 3 of the fundamental social determinants of health, and 3 areas where Madison County needs a lot of love.
Vice President of Programs Carrie Sisk talking to our Oldies 101 Anderson Journal morning show last week. Monroe Central's first girls basketball semi-state appearance ended with a loss against Fremont. LaPel's girls season ended with a loss Saturday against Bremen. Ball State President Jeffrey Mearns told WMUN's Delaware County Today a conversation with Sacramento State President J. Luke Wood during the NCAA meetings in Washington, D.C. helped convince Mearns the school was a good fit for the Mid-American Conference.
I was very impressed by his passion for education, for his passion and rationale for why college sports is important in terms of elevating the profile and impact of a public university like Ball State, like the other members of the MAC.
The conference announced last week Sacramento State as a football-only affiliate member beginning July 1, 2026 for a 5-year term. An update to a story first reported Friday afternoon live on Oldies 101's Anderson Talks. Our reporter, Brett Busby.
Fire units were dispatched shortly before 3 o'clock Friday afternoon to the Burger King restaurant at Broadway and Hartman in Anderson. Fire Chief Dave Cravens told Wolf Boom News the fire apparently started on the interior and ultimately caused an estimated $60,000 in damages. He said nobody was injured, but extensive repairs lie ahead. Brett Busby, WMUN Radio News.
4 teenagers and 3 children under arrest after deputies say guns and drugs were found during a traffic stop in Carmel.
The Hamilton County Sheriff's Office says the stop happened just after midnight along Keystone Parkway. Deputies report finding multiple guns, including one modified to fire automatically, along with marijuana and evidence of dealing. 4 teenagers, including 3 juveniles, were taken into custody and face several charges. The investigation is ongoing. Renuka Bachpai, Network Indiana.
The murder trial for Carl Roy Webb Boards II has been delayed again until July 7, accused of killing Elwood police officer Noah Chavez in 2022. He was one of over 100 Ball State student athletes that chose to attend the Walk a Mile Saturday. Cardinal O-lineman Tristan Cook.
I think it's wonderful, and I think it encourages me to understand that there's got to be more done for sure for people that are, don't have as much and that need more. I think it's a beautiful thing, right? God's greatest commandment, love one another, right? Or love God, then we'll love one another. And I think it's such a beautiful thing to understand that that's what is happening here.
BSU's Kevin Messenger said Cardinals at the Muncie Mission event have become a tradition. Football coach Mike Uremovich was there with his family, too. Tomorrow is an early release day at Muncie Central High School.
That means the high school students will release at 1:05 so our teachers can gather for meetings that afternoon.
That's Principal Chris Walker last week on WMUN saying there's 4 early releases this school year. Side note, Walker is today's guest on All Kinds of People on WMUN. That starts at 9:30 in the morning. Former Purdue wide receiver and on the current Minnesota Vikings roster, Rondale Moore, died over the weekend in New Albany, Indiana, of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. He was 25. Catherine Callahan, ruled last week to be in bad standing with the Madison County Republican Party after a complaint was filed, has filed a defamation suit against the Madison County Lincoln Club and its 3 officers, according to the Herald Bulletin. A semi-truck driver involved in a fatal crash earlier last week in Hendricks County is in the U.S. illegally.
This keeps happening. It's tragic. It's unbelievable. It truly makes me sick.
Indiana Senator Jim Banks telling WIBC's Hammer and Nigel on Thursday what they know about 24-year-old Sukhdeep Singh, an illegal immigrant from India.
This was a guy with an illegal driver's license who was able to get a CDL from the state of Indiana because of loopholes in our own state.
The man killed in the crash Wednesday on US 36 in Hendricks County, 64-year-old Carmel man Terry Schultz. Senator Banks has since launched the Truck Safe Tip Line to try and prevent more Hoosiers from being killed at the hands of people who shouldn't be operating big rigs. Jarrett Lewis, Network Indiana.
3 Delaware County wrestlers finished as runners-up Saturday at the state finals at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Delta and Cowan team members and information on our web this morning. Governor Mike Braun said Thursday afternoon he feels confident a deal can be done with the Chicago Bears to bring them to Northwest Indiana.
Braun told Tony Katz today that he believes now that the Indiana legislature has done its part, all that's really left is to dot the I's and cross the T's.
Well, there would be always things with the real estate that you're looking at. Most of that has been done. A few minor things need to still get done.
He says Indiana is a much more favorable business climate than Illinois, and the Bears are realizing that. John Herrick, Network Indiana.
Thank you, John. State Rep Republican J.D. Prescott was asked about this on WMUN News Radio Friday morning.
At first, when this conversation was coming up, I realized I don't like the state getting involved in building stadiums. But when you look at this deal and the way this is structured and the return on investment to the state for this, this is not going to cost taxpayers money in Indiana. What this is going to do is actually bring in more revenue and really revitalize an area in Northwest Indiana that's been struggling.
Our Oldies 101's Anderson Journal Morning Show revealed its total for the Anderson Journal Winter Warm-Up on Friday. As stated by Wolf Boom Radio President Jay Chapman, the coat goal was 100.
We were very close. And then we went over.
150 coats were donated to the Anderson Christian Center to help the needy in Madison County. Tony Skinner, the sheriff, was one of countless people at the Walk a Mile event over the weekend.
You know, Frank Baldwin there at the Mission is a salt of the earth guy. He's wonderful. The whole organization is wonderful. I've supported them for years.
The sheriff was at the event to help the Muncie Mission Ministries. Nearly $200,000 was raised as of Saturday morning. More local every day on our free wolfboomnews.com. And a live radio feed coming from my text. Our car buddy Chad Castor, he's also known as the Fan Man, blames me, Steve Lindell, for the snow that has fallen and is still falling. Because as I've admitted on this program last week, that I put up the patio furniture in the backyard for Nancy and me in the backyard, and I was afraid that I might have jinxed it. The Paul Poteet weather, as I bring him up on the video feed here, allowing me to show the cartoon. If you're just listening on radio, you're only getting part of the fun. Feeling way colder than 19 degrees, no higher than 29 this afternoon. We'll get 39 on Tuesday, 41 on Wednesday, and a 53 is posted for Saturday's high, but that's a couple of days off, and we have some cold weather to bounce to and fro in between then and now. All right, let's, before we get too much further down the road here on radio, get a snapshot of your day today.
It's February 23rd, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. Today's National Play Tennis Day. The game has been around since the mid-1800s when two friends, Harry Jem and Augurio Pereira, developed the game on Pereira's lawn in England. The first tennis club was created soon after in 1872 and had just 4 members at the beginning of its existence. Remember, it's the only sport where a score of love is a negative. On this day in 2020, South Korean President Moon Jae-in puts his nation on high alert, empowering the government to lock down cities after 602 cases of COVID-19 are reported with 6 deaths. Also on this day in 2020, the first major outbreak in Europe takes place in Italy, with 152 cases and 3 deaths, prompting emergency measures locking down 10 towns in Lombardy. The first mass inoculation against polio in 1954 with the Jonas Salk vaccine. I'm CJ Papa. That's your Fox Daily Snapshot.
On WMUN, News Talk, Sports Talk, Community Talk. I'm Steve Lindell, emanating from our brand new Studio B on the campus of Wolf Boom Radio on the south side of Muncie, Indiana, USA. We're watching for local radio and our Monday morning talk block later today, right after I'm done. At 9 o'clock, it's the 765businessjournal.com radio show hosted by Lethea Pegues. He told me this morning he has invited Charles Pinkston, the major, and I think it's Sherry Anderson, representing the Salvation Army, into the broadcast studios for WMUN. That's from 9 to 9:30. And then at 9:30, our next program is always on Mondays, All Kinds of People with Dr. Joe Mashevitz. He's the host with the most, and he will welcome in Principal Chris Walker today as the guest, as our Monday morning talk block continues. It is indeed tax season, so let's get one of those little items and nuggets to help you if you're preparing your own
tax deadlines to remember for your 2025 return. I'm Brian Brenberg, co-host of The Big Money Show with your Fox Business Tax Tip. The IRS began accepting returns on January 26th, but the last day to file your return is Wednesday, April 15th. And if you need an extension, your request will need to be in before then. For extensions, you or your accountant must file Form 4868 to extend your filing by 6 months. But tax attorney Rebecca Walzer warns this won't give more time for what you owe.
A lot of people think I filed an extension, so the actual payment is not due, and that's not correct. They have two separate penalties. They have a failure to file, but you also have a failure to pay, and that failure to pay would be implicated even if you have an extension.
Brian Brenberg, Fox News.
On WMUN, those tax tips will air during our program over the next several weeks. I have not started to prepare ours just yet, but I do have a headache, so I'm thinking about it. Stand by, more to come, and that includes a disorder that is often hidden. It's in focus this week. That's one of our items coming up in the next segment of Delaware County Today on WMUN.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio. Chris Baggett, owner of Tyner Pond Farm in Hancock County, says new requirements from the U.S. Department of Agriculture regarding the labeling of meat products provides clarity for consumers. The new Product of the USA labeling now applies to products derived from animals that were born, raised, slaughtered, and processed entirely in the U.S. Baggett said previously a product could be labeled as a product of the United States if only one step in the process, such as packaging, happened here. Governor Mike Braun has announced up to $1 million in additional funding for the state's Community Collaboration Fund to support community-led entrepreneurial initiatives across Indiana. The funding will provide matching grants ranging from $5,000 to $40,000 for entrepreneur support organizations to launch new collaborations, services, and programs aimed at strengthening the state's startup ecosystem. This is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Today, you either innovate or evaporate. We are accelerating the pursuit of progress, from the foods we eat to the heights we soar, because this is Indiana, the innovation capital of the world. We rally visionaries across industries, invest in connections as much as capital, and fuel our founders from dorm room to boardroom. Fuel your innovation with Elevate Ventures. Visit elevateventures.com.
Serving Indiana means being ready for growing energy demands. At Duke Energy, we're adding more power to the grid and working on hundreds of local projects to make your energy more reliable. We've strengthened nearly 20,000 poles, updated more than 270 substations, and prevented hundreds of thousands of outage hours with self-healing grid technology, so your power can come back on faster than ever. That's the smarter energy future Indiana deserves. Paid for by Duke Energy shareholders.
The new year is just getting started, and we have big plans, new local shows, even more local news, expansion of our coverage into even more video, and an expanded and rebranded morning show hosted by Steve Lindell. It's all in our continuing effort to use our voice to build and connect our community. 92.5 FM, 1340 AM, and on Alexa's Say Play WMUN.
My name is Aisha Allen, the principal at Northview Elementary, home of the Rockets. All students receive exceptional instruction, not only in core areas like reading, writing, and math, but also in music, art, and physical education. We also offer Project Lead the Way STEM education. Our third graders had a near 90% passing rate on the I-Read 3 assessment. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us.
Muncie Community Schools, placing learners first.
Want to hear more? Replays uploaded daily on WMUNmuncie.com. Now back to Delaware County Today with Steve Lindell, presented by Muncie Community Schools.
As you look at the video replay, these microphones will be filled with guests throughout the week. They are every week because there's a lot of what people are talking about in Muncie, Delaware County. Next item, a disorder that is often hidden and sometimes deadly.
This is House Call for Health. It's National Eating Disorders Awareness Week. The National Eating Disorders Association says it's a time to raise awareness, challenge stigmas, and share hope with everyone impacted. The theme is Every Body Belongs. The association describes eating disorders as serious but treatable mental and physical illnesses that can impact people of all genders, races, religions, ages, sexual orientations, body shapes, and ethnicities. And there isn't a single cause. It's a complex combination of biological, socio-cultural, and psychological factors that come together. Common types of eating disorders are anorexia, bulimia, binge eating, restrictive food intake disorder, and more. 30 million Americans will suffer from an eating disorder at some point in their lives. For more information on disorders or resources for help or getting involved, you can go to nationaleatingdisorders.org. Or for more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
This is WMUN's Delaware County Today. Fox's Tanya J. Powers, who has guested on the program previously, has more now about a woman who became the driving force behind a music genre.
Celebrating Black History Month.
3 years on from hip-hop's 50th anniversary, the contribution of Sylvia Robinson is never ignored. She was an artist, producer, and executive, but many choose visionary to describe her. In fact, 3 guys came to see her for a place in her musical orbit. What she heard...
He said, hip hop, the hip to the hip hop, you don't stop. Rock it to the bang bang. I says, what is this?
It was then the visionary in her shone through.
I says, okay, I tell you what. I marry the 3 of you together. You meet me tomorrow at the studio, and that's how the Sugar Hill Gang started.
As well as the record label that shared their name. Robinson died in 2011, but the genre is stronger than ever and will be celebrated when the Universal Hip Hop Museum opens this fall in the South Bronx to continue the second half-century of hip-hop and Sylvia Robinson's legacy. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
On February 23rd, we're in our Studio B for WMUN. It's another Monday. Let's see what America is thinking about.
This is Poll Paris with Fox News Director of Polling, Dana Blanton.
You've probably heard Congress is gearing up to debate the Save America Act, a bill that would ask Americans to show proof of citizenship and a government-issued photo ID before registering or voting in federal elections. Republican lawmakers say the measure would secure elections. Democrats say it would make it harder for eligible voters to cast a ballot. So where does the public stand? Our Fox News September poll shows more than 8 in 10 think it's a good idea to require photo ID to prove citizenship before voting. And support has held steady over the years, with more than 3/4 in favor since 2011. Plus, there's widespread consensus. Support stays high across gender, racial, and political lines. 96% of Republicans favor the ID requirement, as do more than 8 in 10 independents, and 7 in 10, 70% of Democrats. I'm Dana Blanton. That's your Poll Paris.
On WMUN, cheeseheads can be good people, too. This is from the 2021 archives.
The Dean's List with Janice Dean.
A Wisconsin man who buys teddy bears and donates them to hospitals makes today's Dean's List. Noel Shosow remembers what it was like recovering from eye surgery when he was a boy. He's 51 now, but back in 4th grade, he remembers how lonely he was. But he also recalls how comforted he felt when a family member gave him a puppet named Fido. Noel decided he wanted to help other kids by providing stuffed bears to kids in the hospital. He started the Bear Hug Project in 2011 to achieve that mission. The stuffed bears are all purchased from Build-A-Bear, and this year, the nonprofit sent more than 500 bears, mostly through anonymous donations, to children in 5 area hospitals. Noel says knowing that there are many who will benefit from receiving a bear will put a smile on his face that lasts for months. Noel Shosow, your Bear Hug Project makes the Dean's List. Janice Dean, Fox News.
And Janice still on injured reserve. We hope that her healing is occurring and that we'll be hearing from her again with new segments very soon. We'll tell you if we hear anything. That'll do it for the Monday program from Studio B for WMUN's Delaware County Today. For Aiden Foster producing in the Axia Command Center, this is Steve Lindell wishing you a great rest of your day and a wonderful week to come. Please listen again or watch the replay for WMUN's Delaware County Today.
Hey, it's Jonas Knox, and whether you're actively trading or planning for the long term, Webull